Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we are looking at our Yakima EXO system SnowBank ski and snowboard carrier here at etrailer. The SnowBank ski and snowboard carrier is an awesome addition to your EXO system. So let's say you already have, let's say, the bike rack or the load warrior, the gear locker, and you want to add the ability to carry your skis and snowboards on your hitch. This is a great way to do it. The EXO system is Yakima's way of expanding upon your hitch to carry even more accessories and gear for your different and changing adventures. This modular system uses mix and match accessories for camping, cycling, skiing, and biking, as well as cargo carriers to maximize your space. This can carry 5 pairs of skis or 4 snowboards. Of course, this depends on how large your skis and snowboards are. Like for what I have here, if you have larger bindings, mine are 1.5 inches from the bottom of my ski. I had to put them side by side, so it's really up to you to try to find the best fit for your skis. It has a large button as well as the ability to lock it. Lock cores are included, and then you can just press it even with your big gloves and it pops right back up. On the inside, you have this nice rubber padding on both the top and the bottom. This will allow you to carry as well as protect your skis and snowboards, and it also grips onto it a little bit more, especially if it's wet. This has a double joint in the back, so not only does it hinge upwards, but it also gives you a little extra room for if you have your larger bindings. So that way, with its ratchet system, it just secures itself around your bindings and goes all the way to a full secured stop. With this carry, you can carry a ski or a snowboard of up to 185 centimeters. Now let's talk about crossbar spread. That's the distance from the center of one carrier to the other, and it's 22 or 21 and a half on this carrier. As for crossbar length, which is the usable length of the carrier you can mount your skis on, it's gonna sit at about 25.25 inches. This is gonna come with lock cores, but I highly recommend trying to get lock cores that can be keyed to your entire system, especially if you have a bunch of different accessories. The carrier is super light and easy to carry, and that's because it is made of aluminum, which is durable but also corrosion resistant, which is very important, especially in extreme weather conditions. We have this mounted on our top shelf because I think that's the best place to put it with how easy it is to grab your skis and snowboards, but if you only have the swing base, it will work perfectly fine on that too. If you have any other questions about this system, I actually just had a conversation with some of my coworkers where they asked some questions about it. Let's take a look at that discussion. So we've been able to play around with all of the Yakima EXO system down here all week. We've been throwing things on the swing base, the top shelf. We've been mixing them around, loading them up, taking them off. It's a lot of different products, so I understand if you guys have any questions about how the system works, this is your time.
So these products will only work on the swing base, correct?
Yes, they will. The swing base is the core to this entire system, and nothing else will work if you do not have that swing base.
And what products do you have on there right now?
So right now, I have the swing base and on top of the swing base is our gear warrior, which is like a roof basket for your hitch, and then we have the top shelf installed.
Which the gear warrior, you can actually throw on these little wheels, and we can actually make it into something that's portable.
Yeah.
Yep.
The gear warrior turns into a cart for when you want to.
Video's not on, so you're fine.
Now, could you carry 2 of the gear warriors? Could you carry one where it is now and then put another one up on top?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely can. So you can get, for the cargo carriers, you can carry 2 of them each. So the gear warrior is the cargo carrier, and the gear locker is the enclosed cargo carrier that looks like a box. So you can have both of those on there at the same time.
So both of those, or 2 of the gear warrior, or 2 of the locker, that you can mix and match those, which is really nice.
And then do you have the bike rack?
Yes, I'll actually grab that bike rack real quick. So the thing about the bike rack is if you're going to be loading 2 things at the same time, the bike rack has to be by itself on top. right. If it doesn't get caught on your pants, at least. So like for the bike rack, if you do have bikes, obviously it's going to be pretty tall. But, so if you have the gear warrior or the gear locker on the bottom, the bike rack goes on top.
And you couldn't put 2 bike racks on there.
No.
You can't.
There's
There isn't.
not very much room.
For that, no. But yep, so that's how quick and easy it is just to toss something on top. And now you can carry 2 bikes as well as all of your equipment on the bottom.
Now, how about locks?
There's a lot of places to put lock cores on the system. I think the most I counted was 9 all at once. I think it was with the bike rack and the like the gear locker on the bottom.
It was the gear locker, yeah.
Yeah, because the swing base comes with 3 locks. So 1 for each of the knobs, and then there's a hitch pin. The top shelf comes with 3 locks. Again, for the knobs and the hitch pin to hold the top shelf. And then each of the items have their own spots for lock cores. Like the bike racks have 2 lock core spots, one on each arm, to lock each bike. So you can have at least 9 lock cores on your system at once.
And these don't come with the lock cores pre-installed. You have to add them separately.
Yes. So they come with a plastic end, and that's what you add the lock core to.
Right. But I mean, that way you could make sure that you have all of them the same key number so you can have them all keyed alike.
Yeah. So like here on our SnowBank, we still kept the plastic lock core on there just so you can see what it looks like. So it will still function the exact same way. It just won't be able to be locked until you add a lock core.
Cool.
Now the swing base comes with 3 locks because that's an important part. I believe it comes with the locks.
Yep, it did whenever we were putting it together.
Yeah, because that's what you need to use the knob.
So lock cores are definitely a big one. It's almost like if you're getting one of the kit systems, you'd almost want to just have those bought already.
I think the best thing to do is once you get the swing base, also get like 8 locks in anticipation of your future accessories.
Yeah, because we were talking about it with some of our other coworkers, and it would be a pain if you got like almost everything that the EXO system can give you, and then you have like 7 or 8 keys that you have to go through and figure out which ones are which. It wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, it'd be better to get them all at once and then just have one key that works for all of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then just add them as you go.
Yeah. So the hitch lock comes with the swing base, and the knobs on the swing base come with locks, but everything else is separate.
Everything else is separate. Some of them come with like little lock cores with them, but they're not keyed alike with the rest.
Right.
So
So it's better to buy a pack, like you said, of 8 and then just make sure they're all the same.
yeah, because right now, like this top shelf is going to have a different key from the bottom swing base, and then the actual like bike locks are going to have different keys. So that's already 3 keys that you have to, keep track of. And that's only, a full setup.
Right.
Of like this is one of the kits, correct?
Yes. So, and then if you switch it out with the SnowBank, or you switch this one with another gear locker, those also have different locks. So in anticipation of how many accessories you have, try to think about lock cores as well.
Is the weight capacity the same for the upper tier as it is the lower tier?
No, and that's what you're going to have to be super sure of. Well, not sure of, but check before you load things up. Like here we have the Gear Warrior, and it has the highest possible weight capacity, which is 250 pounds, if it's installed alone on the swing base. But once you install the top shelf, anything on the bottom has a slightly less weight capacity. And if you put this Gear Warrior on this top shelf, it will have a weight capacity of 80 pounds. So it's a big difference depending on where you mount it.
That is a big difference.
Yeah, that is a big difference. And I bet that's mostly to do with the hitch itself rather than the actual component weight capacities.
Yes, all because it's further away from the hitch. Like with any extender we have, it halves the weight capacity. So also, the top shelf can be pushed out if you're worried about clearance for your back. So I believe that would also be why they have a lower base weight.
Now, much like a lot of bike racks will fold up so you can pull into a garage or whatnot, is there any kind of fold up option for this, or do you have to remove it from your hitch if you're in a tight spot?
Yes, you'd have to, well, yeah.
So
You'd have to remove it. It swings away, which is it's, compromised for not being able to tilt away or fold up. But yes.
the closest thing you could get to like folding it is taking almost everything off. Like you can take off your equipment and you can take off the top, and then the two bottom arms fold in.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the closest thing that you would get to it, but it's not like you can fold it any other way. And you still got a good amount sticking out, but at least those two Yakima arms are going to slide in against the base.
Can you remove the bike rack and put on the ski rack real quick?
I can. One thing though about the top shelf is that it does add a little bit to where it feels slightly heavier, but yes, I can. So first you just have to lock it like that, where it's open, then lift your bike rack off. Then I'll find somewhere to put this. And then the SnowBank comes in two parts. So here's one that just slides into those tracks. Then we'll tighten those cleats down on that. And then lock that tab into place. That secures it. So the tabs only turn when it's fully tightened down. That lets you know it's fully tightened down. And that's it. Ready to load.
Remind me, you can't just buy the fit feet and add them to your previously existing Yakima accessories to make them work with this, correct? They're all they have to be for the EXO systems.
Yes, I don't think the actual clamps are available anywhere to install. So it's just exosystem accessories that fit into those tracks.
Yeah, we haven't seen any evidence to the contrary that we'd be able to do that. So
No, that makes sense. I just wanted to double check.
I think the only thing from Yakima's previous line that fits on this is the Skinny Warrior, and that's because the clamps for the Gear Warrior are attached to the Gear Warrior. So that's what allows the Skinny Warrior to be retrofit, because it fits perfectly on top of that too. But other than that, nothing else that I know of.
okay, well, glad we could answer some of your questions on the EXO system. It's definitely an interesting one. We've messed around with it for what, like last 3 days, 4 days?
4 days, yes. It's definitely something for people who've already filled up their roof rack or can't get a roof rack. So they're looking into this because this is a roof basket, but on my hitch, or a roof box on my hitch, plus a ski and snowboard carrier. So I do see people that are thinking of whether they get a trailer or this as an option, as a comparison.
Yep. And I would definitely say that if somebody's wanting to buy this, they're going to want to be able to get as many of the pieces as possible. This doesn't seem like something you would want to be like, oh, I'm just getting this for skis or for bike. Like this is something like, oh, I need room for my skis, my bikes, and then maybe I'm going to go just camping and I need 2 cargo carriers for the week or something like that.
Sure, that makes sense.
That was my one question is, after our conversation this morning, that is this a bike rack? Like if you were just going to get the bike rack, is it really that comparable to other swing away bike racks, or is this kind of more trouble than it's worth?
It's
You know what I mean?
good, but like it's like, having a piece of like a massive puzzle. It's like you just don't want that specific piece if you can't fill out the rest of it.
Yeah, I think the beauty of it is how fast it is to mix and match. Like I have not been able to install a bike rack as fast as I was to do this, like any other hitch mounted bike rack. So that base is what creates the speed. And the beauty of it is that mix and match modularity. So at its price point, let's say just a bike rack on the swing base, I do not think is as effective as a bike rack created just for your hitch. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's what I was wondering. So I just, after you guys have been able to think about it a little bit more, or reflect how it compares to other swing away bike racks. So I think if anybody were to stumble upon it in that bike rack category, that's good to know that it's like, yeah, you can buy this just as a bike rack, but there are better options if that's all you want. And this is really more for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My final thoughts about the SnowBank is I think it does a really good job with carrying skis and snowboards. It does pretty much the same as most of the roof rack carriers that I've carried. Plus, this gives you the opportunity to carry even more gear since it's part of the EXO system. So if again you are thinking of adding this to your EXO system and you want to carry your skis, one, please make sure that they fit on this, and two, make sure that you get them all keyed alike. But other than that, it's a great option. And that was a look here at our SnowBank ski and snowboard carrier for the Yakima EXO system.